Hey guys, welcome to Torrential Rift. Today's special guest is Paul Graham, drummer from the band Sacrament, and now with his new band, Testimony of Apocalypse. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, let's do this. Hey guys, welcome to Torrential Rift. Today's special guest is Paul Graham from originally Sacrament and now Testimony of Apocalypse. Paul, thanks for taking the time and answering some questions today.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Thanks. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can.
So when did you first start playing drums, or was that even your first instrument you started playing?
No, my first instrument that I played actually was guitar. I started guitar when I was maybe 15. Me and my friend, we just decided, hey, the guy up the street was selling a couple guitars for $20 a piece. And we were like, $20, like that's so much money. But we got the money and we, got the guitars. And we just started messing around. I think the first song we were playing was like Black Sabbath, that Iron Man.
Yep.
Most people started with that because it was easy. And then we couldn't find a bass player, so in a little bit I switched over. I said, well, what if I get a bass? Then I can play bass, you can play guitar. That's, two of us now. And, we can get a drummer and that kind of thing. So that was the first instrument I started on, actually, was guitar.
Okay. So when did you first start getting really getting serious into drums, and then you actually formed a band, and you're like, hey, this is something I want to really do, and let's move forward with this?
Yeah, well, I was playing bass for the band that I was talking about, and the drummer, we were actually playing at my parents' house. They went away on vacation for 2 weeks. So when they went away, I was like, hey, can I have the band? Can I play, I want to play the band at our house.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, that's no problem. So when the drummer brought his set over, he said, hey, do you mind if I leave the drum set, because I got to break it down, bring it back. You mind if I leave it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, yeah, I understand. That'd be great. And he said, listen, by the way, just so you know, if you want to get on my set and play it, go ahead. Have at it.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, cool. I'd never played drums before. I got on those drums, and as soon as I got on, I was like, I love it. I loved it more than anything I had ever done before. The guitar, the bass, and I had never tried it, and I actually was like, I can actually do this. Like, I have my arms doing something, my feet doing something. I was like, wow, I can actually play drums. So I said, I'm going to switch. So I sold all my stuff, sold my PA system, sold my bass, and got a drum set. Traded that all in to get a drum set. And I started when I was 20.
Okay. Oh, so a little bit later. Okay. So when did Sacrament, or whatever you called your band at that time, at what point did the guy it kind of solidify? You got all the band members together, where and you made a demo.
Well, it was okay. So it was that band. That band wasn't a Christian band. That was just a band, secular band, and it was like a little bit after that, I became a Christian. And when I became a Christian, I decided, hey, I'm doing this. I want to do this for God. I want to play my music for the Lord. And the guys that were in that band kind of did their own thing, and I just kind of pulled away. Like, I'm gonna do a Christian band.
And roughly what year was that? Do you remember?
I think it was like 1986.
Okay. So, did you know about Christian metal at all, or Striper?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess Striper. Striper was the one that I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, I think I want to play my music for God. I want to do the same thing. And so when we first started to it was me, I met Eric Nye, who was in Sacrament. Me and him stuck it out for a number of years where we were just like trying different guitar players and different, it was rough. We were waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting.
I remember you posted this maybe a few days ago. If you don't mind sharing, there's a story. I think it was before you were in the band. You were in the band and you were a utility worker. And
yeah,
you got a message.
You talking about the patience sign?
Yes.
Sign. Yes.
I thought that was a cool story.
Yeah, it was. I worked for Waste Management, so I'm a truck driver, and Eric worked at Waste Management too, and so did Mike D at one point. So three of us worked at Waste Management at the same time. And we were, like I had told you earlier, we were struggling to get members to do this. We really wanted to do this. We really wanted to do Sacrament. And it was a struggle. We just couldn't seem to get over the hump. And Eric had said to me, hey, my friend Jim has got a full band, but he needs a bass player. And this isn't a Christian band, it's a secular band. And he said, but I don't know. Like, I feel like we're spinning wheels. We're not going anywhere. Can we, I might think about joining him, which totally crushed me because I was like, man, like this is my, Batman and Robin type of thing. It's like, he's the one that's been sticking with me all these years.
Right.
And so I left and I was like, man, like, Lord, like, come on. Like, something's got to break here. And in the meantime, he's back at the yard. He's praying. I need a sign. Like, Lord, give me a sign. Give me a sign so I know what I'm supposed to do. And I went to, it was like a big refinery that I went to, and they had this recycling dumpster. It was filled with like thousands of pieces of paper. And I put it onto the truck, and I was tarping it. And in the meantime, while I'm tarping it, this big gust of wind came and blew this big piece of cardboard out, and it like hit me in the face, almost knocked me off the truck, and it fell down on the ground face up. I'm looking right at it, and it says in big red sign, patience, in white with an exclamation right through the center of it. Like,
what? Yeah.
Like, how much more do I have to get a sign? That's it.
You literally get hit in the head.
Yeah. So I picked that sign up, put it in my truck, and I went back to where Eric was, and he was like, I was like, dude, you're never going to believe what happened to me. And he's like, what happened? And I told him, and I'm like, and this is the sign. And he's like, I've been praying the whole time you've been gone. I need a sign that this is what I'm supposed to do. I was like, I got your sign right here.
Yeah. Wow.
Here you go. I gave it to him, and we took it. When I played in Sacrament, we played at Eric's basement, and I took it and I put it right behind me. So it was right behind my back, just to like, don't forget. And yeah, I mean, that to me, that was like a no brainer. Like that was the Lord saying, hang in there.
Right.
And it was literally right after that that all that other stuff happened where we got the full band, I got married, we got all that happened immediately after that.
Yep.
Wanted us to all be patient.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, trust me, I have a plan. Just be patient. Okay, yeah, it was a really cool story. Thanks for sharing that. I thought that was a really good story.
Yeah, there's a number of stories I have from Sacrament days, even now. So I'm not going to share them yet because I want to put them in a post.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to try to find somebody who does like stories, like a book. Because I got the title. It's called God Stories. There's times where I've definitely felt God has intervened or God has directed me, or there's a bunch of stuff that's happened over the years that I could share. So that's one of the things I want to share on Facebook is something positive.
Yeah.
We finally got the full band, and that's when we really started to things really took off. Really, once that full band happened in March of 1989.
Okay, yeah. So
first Sacrament.
Yeah, because it was originally your first record was 1990, so
it moved that fast.
Yeah,
like we became a full. I got married in 1989, March of 1989, and right after that, I would say 2 weeks later, we had the full band.
Yep.
And so that was March of 1989, and by June of 1989, we hadn't even played our first show, and we were signed.
Wow.
REX.
So did Doug Mann did you send him your demo, or how did Doug Mann get it?
We did. We had sent, actually, we were pretty good friends with Believer.
Okay, yep. Because it's the same state, right? Pennsylvania?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we had, we had seen them play with Barron Cross. They had opened up for them at a concert in Pottstown, and we saw them there, and we met them, and it was like instantly, we hit it off. They were listening to, we took them back to our car, and we were listening to some of the stuff that we had written. And they're like, wow, like this stuff is good, guys. Like, get us a demo. So we did.
Wake up and see the truth before your
got the demo, and they passed the demo to Doug Mann, and then we were going to play our first show in June with Believer. We were going to open for Believer. That was the deal. And when they came, they were like, "Listen, we need to let you know, like, you guys are signed." And we were like, "What? Like, what? We haven't even played our first show yet." And we were signed. So it really did happen that quick.
Yeah, so
and then right after that, it was like show. Every weekend we were playing shows, Battle of the Bands, all sorts of stuff.
Sleep, I'm moving time, you, I'm a
sure enough, by 1990, well, I guess, yeah, it was like the end of 1989, beginning of 1990 is when we recorded.
Yeah. And Doug produced that one, I think, right? The first one?
Yeah, it was Doug. Joey and Kurt were going to do it, but I think there was something happening where they couldn't, like, they were going to do it, but then they couldn't do it because they had something they had to fulfill.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what ended up happening with that.
Nice. And what did you think? Now, did you have any clue about the artwork, or Rex was like, "This is what we're doing"?
Well, I've kind of put some posts out there. I think you've probably seen them on Facebook. The original artwork, the artwork that's right behind your head, almost that artwork right there, right? That was the artwork that we had.
Oh.
But it was with I call it the correct logo.
Oh,
that's not our logo. And it's funny that you have Living Sacrifice right next to it, because if you take that logo and take Living Sacrifice off and put that Sacrament on Living Sacrifice, that was the album cover they offered us.
Oh, okay.
They offered us that album cover, REX. Doug said, "This is your cover." And we were like, "No, like, this is our cover." And the thing was, well, then you have to take this logo. And we're like, "But that's not our logo." And he was like, "Well, this looks more professional. This is the logo you have to take."
So you have to compromise a little bit. Hey, you got the album cover, but you didn't get the logo, but at least you got on.
And then the second album, Haunts of Violence, we got the logo, but we didn't get our album cover. So
okay,
yeah, it was interesting.
So after the first record gets released, you had a singer change. Why did Mike Tyrone originally leave the band? I think I remember hearing rumors he had issues with his throat. Is that true? Or
yeah, he started to have if you listen to how he sings, I mean, it's pretty brutal. And I think what was happening was we probably, in hindsight, we probably should have been like, because we were practicing 20 hours a week. So it was like, I think it was like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. We were practicing, then we were practicing.
We're talking about practice.
But the whole time we were doing that, he was singing too. He was singing as hard as he does on the album, all those hours. And I think what it did, and then we started to play shows, and we were playing shows all over the place. And it took a toll on his voice. At one point, like towards the latter part, it was like we'd be 3 songs in and his voice was gone.
Wow. And
we have like a 15-song set that we're trying to play, and his voice was like gone.
Shot. Yeah.
And that's kind of how that happened.
So he's like, "Hey guys, I can't take, vocally I can't do it anymore." So he leaves the band. Now, did you have with Rex? Did you have like a 2-record deal or a record by record deal? What was the Rex?
I think if I remember correctly, the original deal was 3 albums.
Okay.
We had a 3-album deal. Somewhere in our contract, there was something written there that like it was almost like a backdoor clause written in there somehow that like if we would do it, but if we lost members, that it was kind of like get out of jail card type thing, where it's like, no, if we disband, like we're not going to do the 3rd album. So, and they didn't say anything about it. So
yeah.
And
how did you find Rob Wolf that did the vocals for Haunts of Violence?
Rob was somebody, actually it was kind of funny. He was somebody who saw us play one of our earlier concerts. So he was a fan of the band before meeting us. And we had put the word out that we were looking to have a new singer. And we had some auditions, and Robbie was one of the ones that answered it. And at the time it was like, okay, great. Here's a song. Write the song, come back and let us hear it. And he did a couple of this. I think he did a couple songs for us, and it was like, okay, I think this will work. So that was it.
Souls in torment.
So what was your response from fans, like, or did you know you had fans? I always hear from all the artists that they had no idea how many records they sold. And of course, I know you didn't make any money off of anything. But did you guys have any clue on how far-reaching your music was getting?
At the time, no. But I remember the first show that we played outside of our own little territory here near Philadelphia. We played in Indiana, and we played with Deliverance.
Okay.
Go with them. And I remember the first time it hit us, we got out of I think we were in a U-Haul trailer or something. And we got out, and people were going, "That's the drummer. That's him right there. That's him." We're like, "What?" Like, "We're not worthy. We're not worthy." No idea that people in another state even knew who we were. That's Sacrament. That's them. That's the drummer. That's the guitar player. That was surreal. It was definitely eye-opening.
Yeah, me being a fan of Christian metal back in the day, we'd have to go into Christian bookstores, and then you would pick up a record, and you're like, "Oh yeah, this record. I don't even know what this band is, but I got to buy it just by the cover." I mean, that's how it was back then.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you pretty much had your cover until people heard what you sounded like. That might be your only opportunity to get people, to entice them to look at it and go, "Hey, I think I might like this."
Yeah.
Yep.
So okay, so that was in 1992 was Haunts of Violence. Then we have a 30-year gap.
Yeah, 30 years.
In 2022, you released Testimony of the Apocalypse. So I guess my first question is, what is the reason you didn't want to keep the Sacrament name and wanted to go with Testimony of Apocalypse? So what was the reasoning behind that?
Well, what we had done was we'd gotten together in early 2021. We actually met. We actually did try to start. We were like, okay, we're gonna do this. Like, let's give this a shot. And when we started to write, it just seemed like it just wasn't cohesive. It wasn't working. And we decided, hey, I think, me and Nick and Mike are going to do our own thing. And they were like, okay, well, Eric said, well, me and Mike are going to do our own thing. And we're like, okay, that's cool. There's no bad blood or anything. It was just like, hey, it just isn't working right here. So we decided to divide. And that's how it started.
So was Eric, is it Nye? I don't know.
Nye,
sorry.
Yep.
So that's when you guys originally got together. Then you're like, and Eric, you and Eric, are like, oh, let's do something separate. Now, was he taking the Sacrament name?
Yeah, going back to your question, we decided that nobody should take it because it wasn't really Sacrament. It wasn't all of us, and it wasn't, so we thought, you know what? Hey, you guys don't take it, we won't take it. Like, let's agree that nobody is going to take the moniker of Sacrament. We'll do our own thing, but we're gonna have our own different names.
Okay, so so you started doing demos. What did you know? What style? You were just like, let's just play, and whatever comes out, that's what we're gonna release. Or
is this for
the new Testimony of Apocalypse?
For the new one? Well, Nick wrote pretty much that whole album. So the first couple tunes of that actually were songs that we were playing together. We were going to try to play together as Sacrament.
Okay.
Couple of them. There's a couple on the album that were definitely geared towards that's what we were trying to accomplish. And then when we divided, like they had a couple tunes that they had done, we had a couple tunes that we had done. So we just said, okay, like they're yours, this is ours, and we'll do our own thing.
So how did you find Nick?
Okay, Nick
Shout out to you, Nick.
long story short, I knew Nick from, I was teaching after Sacrament was done. I was kind of like, what am I doing, Lord? Like I feel like I still need to work with the youth. It's not going to be in a band, but like, what can I do? And one of the days I was walking in my church, my associate pastor said, hey, did you ever think about teaching Sunday school? No, I haven't. Like, I'm not a teacher. Okay. But I was like, you know what? I'll pray about it and I'll get back to you. And after I prayed about it, I was like, you know what? Working with the youth. This was a senior high Sunday school class. A lot of people were intimidated by that class because it was like, they're teenagers.
Yeah.
I was not intimidated at all. I was like, hey, this is who I used to.
This is my crowd.
To.
This is
This is the people I was playing for.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So Nick was one of my students. He was 14 when I met him.
Okay.
And I met him, and we actually formed a band with Sunday school students. Just Sunday, I think it was like two other adults, me and two other adults, and then the rest of the band was Sunday school students. So there were 10 students and 3 adults.
Wow.
And we played together for 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, what was cool was like the people that were, as they graduated, say they graduated and they went off to college, there were kids that were younger that were, say, in 9th grade coming up into my class who wanted to be part of the band. So they would audition and we'd be like, okay. And so as people left, new people came in. I think when we counted it up, I think there was 35 members.
Oh, wow.
Members over 14 years. So Nick was very aware of Sacrament. He knew all about Sacrament. He liked Sacrament a lot. He knew about it. So when I had asked him to be a part of the 30-year reunion thing for Sacrament, I was like, would you be interested in playing? And he said, are they covers or are they originals? I said, no, they're originals. He said, I'm in.
Nice.
That's a long roundabout way, but so I've known Nick since 1999.
Okay, wow, a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the new music's fresh, and you can hear that.
No escape, none escape the judgment. Doomsday, devastation, death, destruction, darkness and despair, wickedness and sin. Jesus said, those who believe in me will live even though they die, 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 die. judgment.
Like, if you didn't, nobody would have known that your last record was 30 years ago. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
It's fresh. It sounds new. It's very modern, but still has that classic feel to it, and that's very hard to do. What was the response from Sacrament fans and now New Testimony of Apocalypse fans? What's been the response been?
Very positive.
Excellent.
Very positive. A lot of people are like, man, I'm so glad that you guys are writing music again. And yeah, they like, we were big fans of yours when you were in Sacrament, and like now you're doing this, and like this sounds so different, but it's cool. It's different, but it's still cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we're just really amazed at how much positive response we've gotten so far.
At what point did you get on Facebook and social media and be like, wow, our fans are still there? They still love us? Like, did you think there would be fans in 2022 that were still fans of Sacrament? At what point did you get online and be like, wow, like, there's still a scene here?
I think it was probably like August of 2021, after we had decided that we were going to form this band, and Nick was like, look, we've got to have a social media platform out here. We need to get the word out. And I was like, okay. Up until that point, I was only on Facebook to say I was married to my wife.
Yeah.
That's it. I was really not on Facebook. But I do, there's a lot of, I don't know. Sometimes it's a negative thing.
It can be
sometimes
negative.
On Facebook, it can be negative.
Yep.
But I also look at it more like I want to use it as a tool to be positive.
Mm-hmm.
I tried really hard to, like, when I'm putting something on or posting something, that it's positive, it's uplifting. There's so much negative stuff out there. It's like nobody needs any more negative stuff.
Right.
Really.
I try to do the same thing. I either try to be, put something positive out there, or just a good word for the day, or but yeah, it's a lot of negativity, so you got to filter that stuff out and take the positive,
Yep.
All right, so sorry, a little sidetrack there. So the first Testimony Apocalypse comes out with Mike Tyrone, and Mike Tyrone leaves again. What happened with Mike on the second one?
Well, when he came to, when we had finished the first one, then we were going to do the second one. We were in, like, how are we going to do this? What are we thinking? And the first one was pretty stressful for Mike. He has a really stressful job. And I think part of that had something to do with it, to the point where we had decided, like, look, if we do another album, I'm going to do, like, I can give you guys like 4 songs. I can do 4. Mm-hmm. And we had already talked about that we wanted to do 12. And we said, okay, well then we'll have you do 4. And we're thinking about having, like, talking to people and having guest singers finish out the rest of the album. And he said, that would be great. That sounds like that sounds like that would work. And we said, okay, great. And I guess it was like maybe a month later, and he just came to us and he said, listen, man, I know I said I could do 4, but I can't even do 4. Like, he did say that he didn't really divulge the medical issues that he's having, and I wouldn't say it if he told me, but he didn't tell me. He just said, look, I'm having medical stuff. I got to get this stuff straightened out. Mm-hmm. I can't, I got to take care of my health. And we said, okay, fine. So we had said, well, now we're going to have how many more singers? It was 8. Now it's going to be like, how many are we going to get? Yeah. So it ended up being 10. There's 10 singers on the new album. So a couple guys did 2 songs for us. But
now, was that hard to? Did you have ideas of who you might get, or did Nick know people? How did you get your singers?
Yeah, that was kind of a Nick knew a couple guys. Nick was friends with Brian Lida, and he was also friends with Billy Haranen from Inborn Tendency. So he was also friends with Juan Marrero. So those 3 he already knew. So he had already put the feelers out. Hey guys, this is what we're thinking about doing. Can you help us out? Can you just do a song? We were only asking for a song. And so he knew them. I knew DJ.
Yeah, I was going to say, so this is the first official release from DJ from Living Sacrifice since 1994.
Right.
And hopefully we're looking forward to actual Living Sacrifice, him singing on Living Sacrifice record. But this was his first comeback song. So did you ask him, say, hey, do you want to sing on this? Because you knew he was kind of back in the scene again, right?
Yeah, well, I had kind of like Nick, I just kind of reconnected with DJ and was just kind of, saying that, this is what we're doing. Would you ever think about doing a song? And he's like, well, yeah, but then he was very busy with what he was doing with work and stuff and a project. At one point, it didn't look like it was going to work out. Okay. And then I was like, well, I can't wait. I gotta keep going. I'm gonna have to get somebody else or whatever. And he circled back. He came back and he said, hey, my stuff is done. Is there still an opportunity for me? And I said, absolutely. So that's why we gave him that song. And I'd been friends with, or made friends with Greg.
Greg Manier, yep.
Yeah. So those are the 2 that I was friends with, and then the rest of them were just like, we put it out there on Facebook. Hey, look, we're looking for X, and people would respond and say, hey, this is my friend so and so, check him out. The one guy, I think it was Corey Weaver. So they were like, you got to check this guy out. Okay, so we check him out. I was like, wow. So I contacted him through Facebook and was just like, hey, this is us. This is what we're doing. Would you be interested? And he got back and he said, yeah, I would be interested. I'll do a song for you guys. So he did one. J. Paul White was somebody who came just, I think it was friends with Bill from Rocks.
Yep.
Just said, hey, did you ever think about using this guy? I was like, no, but all right, let's give him a shot. I was like, hey, this is what you sound like. I was like, all right, that'll work. Yeah, it was really, the Lord was definitely directing it. We didn't feel at no time did we really be like, oh man, like what are we going to do?
Yeah, it came out really well.
Yeah, only one song really we had that moment of, oh, what are we going to do? It's actually the first song on the album. It was slotted for somebody else and they had to back out. Like, look, I'm sorry, I got to back out. And we're like, oh no, like we've already tapped all these people. Who are we going to get? Because this is the first song. This is the first song on the album. What are we going to do? Like, this has got to be a killer song. And I remember I talked to Derek Corzine, and I was like, Derek, look, man, I don't know how long this is going to take now because we got to find somebody to do this. We need somebody to sing the song. He's like, I got you. Don't worry about it. I totally got it. Okay. So that was it. Okay. We let him do it, and he turned that song, and it was like, that was the person who was supposed to do this song. That's amazing.
And I got to say, like, the artwork, I got my T-shirt here. Awesome artwork. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to fade out there. Who's the artist? Do you have a guy that does all your artwork? Because it's really, really good.
Yes, that's Seth Matoyer. Yeah, he does all of our stuff that we've done recently. He did the gas mask shirt that you like too.
I got that. You know, I got that one. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I want to shout out to Anthony at Anchor Merchandising, who does these awesome shirts. Puts out really professional work, good quality. Give a shout out to Anthony.
Yep.
He's
awesome to work with.
I was going to say he's great to work with, and he wants to support the Christian scene too. So, which is good for us.
Yes, he's very easy to work with. I mean, hey Anthony, I got this idea. Hey, this is what I'm thinking, and he's like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get it done. And he'll come back and be like, here, what do you think? Is this going to work? And they're like, oh, it looks great. It looks awesome. So
we get T-shirts at Anchor Merchandising. I'll put the link here below. And also for the CDs, how do we get the first Testimony of Apocalypse and then the new, The Offering?
Okay, so the first Testimony of Apocalypse, you could get that through us at our Bandcamp.
Okay.
You get that, I think you can get that at Rocks Records.
Okay.
And you can also get that at the Karen Collective.
Okay.
3 places to get that. And then The Offering, you can get that also at our Bandcamp. And you can also get that at Rocks. I believe, I'm going to say too, I think you can get that at, I think you might be able to get both of them at Nordic Mission.
Okay. For international?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And you can also obviously get it streaming because it's streaming on like every platform that we can put it on. It's on there. So it's on Apple Music, Amazon Music, all those, iTunes, all that, Spotify. Yep.
Yep. Nice. All right, Paul, I think those are all the questions I had. Is there anything you want to say to your fans that have followed you all these years? And we'll head out from that point.
I'd just like to say thank you to all of you for supporting us for all these years. For those of you who knew us in Sacrament and those who know us now as Testimony of Apocalypse, we really appreciate everything that you do for us. The posts that you put out, hey, I got this record. Look at this. This is awesome. I got this CD. I stream your stuff all the time. We appreciate anything that you guys can do for us.
All right, sounds good. All right, Paul, thank you for being on Torrential Riff, and we're glad to have you. Have a great night.
You too.
See ya. Bye-bye. If you made it to the end, you are a legend. I appreciate you watching the show. If you got some a little bit of extra cash, why don't you pick up some Sacrament and Testimony of Apocalypse merch. Check out their tees. I put them in the video during the show. Go to anchormanagement.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. And I also have T-shirts for Torrential Riff, also at Anchor Management. So I'll leave that link in there also. That really helps support the show. So, all right, guys, that's going to do for this one. See you on the next one. Later.